Logic games might be going away in a year, but they're still around for now. Hey, what's up everybody? Steve Schwartz here from LSAT Unplugged, joining you today to give you a quick overview of the LSAT logic games section. Before I get into it, a quick request. Please do me a favor, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really helps with that YouTube algorithm, and I really do appreciate it. So the reason I'm making this video is that a lot of folks are intimidated by logic games, but they are the most learnable and perfectible section of the test. So I wanted to give you a quick run through of a general logic games approach, as well as an overview of different types of logic games questions. Here is my 5-step approach to solving LSAT logic games. This is regardless of the game type, whether it's ordering, grouping, combinations, patterns, rare types, and what have you. Step 1 is to identify the game type by determining the required tasks. Are they asking you to put variables in order or in a sequence of some kind? Are they asking you to choose some variables but not others? This will help you determine what type of logic game you're dealing with and help you figure out what type of main diagram to create. Step 2 is to list all the variables involved in the game. This is going to be a list of letters, typically A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or X, Y, Z, or J, K, L, M, N, O. For example, it's arbitrary, doesn't matter, but definitely list them out. Step 3, diagram or symbolize the rules and create your main diagram. If it's an ordering game, it might be a series of slots. If it's a conditional in-out game, it may be a long conditional chain. Step 4, make inferences, aka deductions, by combining the rules in the game. And finally, step 5, consider the game's possibilities or limited options for creating multiple main diagrams. So that's the 5-step approach you want to take when approaching any logic game. Now, of course, there are ordering games, grouping games, combinations, patterns, and such. I've covered that in other videos, so I won't get into that again here. But what I will do instead is give you a quick overview of different types of questions associated with any type of logic game. You have your orientation question, your global questions, your local questions, your complete and accurate list questions, and your rule substitution questions. So now I'm going to get into each of those types of questions. Your orientation question might ask something like, which one of the following could be the order in which the trucks arrive from first to last? This is your gimme warm-up question. Just take one rule or inference at a time and apply it to all 5 answer choices, checking for violations of that rule or inference. In other words, you are working here by process of elimination. Always do this question first and recognize that this gives you an example of a valid scenario that can help you solve other questions associated with the game going forward. You also have global questions asking in general, which one of the following must be true, which one of the following could be true, or which one of the following cannot be true. In this case, you check all your valid hypothetical scenarios, whether it's the main diagram or other local diagrams that you've drawn. Speaking of which, you also do have your local questions, asking things like, if A is selected, then which one of the following could be true? Or if X is on slot 3, then which one of the following must be true? If you don't already have a previous valid hypothetical scenario that gives you an example of this, you then want to create a new diagram starting with this limitation to see what the consequences of that local restriction will be. The new diagram that you draw can then help you solve other questions in the game going forward. You also have your complete and accurate list questions asking something like, which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of dogs, any one of whom could appear third? In this situation, you check all your scenarios, whether it's your main diagram or other diagrams, to help you solve this question. Then finally, you have your rule substitution questions asking something like, which one of the following, if substituted for the condition that XYZ, would have the same effect in determining the order or the selection or the grouping, whatever it may be. These questions are universally hated, but they really aren't so bad. They've appeared on virtually every single LSAT prep test since prep test number 57. If these are giving you trouble, drill them, meaning that starting with test 57 and up, you simply create the main diagram for the game, do the setup, and then solve only the rule sub question. This will help you see patterns in what the proper approach for these questions will be. A simple rule of thumb is that you want a new answer choice that is no more limiting than the original rule and no less limiting than the original rule. So if a given answer choice allows something that previously would not have been possible under the original rules, then it is not limiting enough and you can eliminate it. Alternatively, if a new answer choice would render a previously valid scenario invalid, then it is more limiting and also for that reason could not possibly be correct. Don't overly stress about these questions. There's only 1 or 2 of them per exam. But if you're aiming for that 165, 170 plus, you're going to want to get perfect on logic games, maybe minus 2 or 3 on each of the other sections. So really work on perfecting logic games. Don't sacrifice these rule sub questions, drill them. So again, to run through these question types, we have orientation questions, global, local, complete and accurate list, and rule substitution. These are the most common questions you'll see associated with LSAT logic games. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please do me a favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It really does help, and I really do appreciate it. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.